Hello and welcome. I'm Adri Gregan and I'm back for more Jujutsu Kaisen. Today we're finally starting Season 2. Last time we did the movie after a brief hiatus finishing Season 1, and the movie was quite good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. We finally got to meet and really explore in pretty good depth the last upperclassmen that we've been really building up for a lot of the second half of Season 1, Yuta, Okotsu, and we really explored a lot of his past and what he was doing in the school. And we also got to explore a topic that was, or an event rather, that was hinted at and alluded to with Toto, the night parade of 1,000 demons or something like that, where Toto obviously went in, and we got to see just a little bit of that during the movie. But it turns out that entire thing was just a distraction. So Geto, who we also saw quite a bit more in this movie, could get to Yuta. Uh, However, every question that movie seemed to answer only seemed to pose more questions. Because by the end of it, Yuta lost his curse, Rika-chan, and she seemed to move on to the afterlife. And also, Geto died. So, but in the present, it seems that Yuta is still at Jujutsu Tech, even though he's overseas at the moment. And also, Geto does not seem to be as dead as he was at the end of the movie. So, a lot of questions and a lot of plot lines that almost seem to close, only to split far wider open than I ever thought they could be. So that's very promising moving forward, though. I love all these questions being opened up. I love these plot lines being built out. I love these mysteries being set out, not explicitly, but only to people who are, well, paying attention, really. There was a lot of things that are kind of, you'll blink and you'll miss it. Little tiny details that improve our understanding of the characters, like Maki, who's a little bit colder, and we saw her slowly start to open up during the movie. Inumaki's consideration, Panda's Panda. But we also saw the school, the religious sect that Geto is leading, and I'm curious to see how that will play in, because I imagine they will be getting involved in Season 2. So there's a whole lot to get into, a whole lot to explore, and we're into the second half, really, of this binge as we try to catch up before Season 3 drops, so I'm really excited for it. Now, before we get into it, I did a quick look at the staff of Season 1 and Season 2 and a little bit into the movie, and don't get me wrong, a quick disclaimer, I am not a professional, I'm not an expert in any of this stuff, but there were a couple things that stood out to me, especially since I'd heard that there were some production issues moving into Season 2, and apparently also the movie suffered from a good bit of that too. I didn't notice anything too much. I'm sure aficionados saw differences, but I thought it looked amazing for the most part. But I suppose that just stands as a testament to the passion and effort of the people who went into it. Even though they had terrible production time, they really made the most of it, and it was really good. It could also be that I was potentially watching it in the Blu-ray. I believe that was the file I was watching it on. I'm not certain. So if it was, then they might have patched up and kind of, dotted some I's, crossed some T's. I'm definitely going to be watching Season 2 in the Blu-ray, though, so a lot of the, perhaps rushed animation and the rough edges might have been smoothed out during here. However, different things like the change in director was a big thing. I'm curious to see if that will be noticeable moving into the new season. So the director obviously was one change. For the producers, there wasn't too much. We did lose one, Maide Toshihiro, and two took his place. So quite a few producers working on this one. Omori Tatsuya and Yamazaki Hiroaki, I believe they are. So quite a few producers working on this one. I believe the total was 8 of them in total, but I guess there were 7 in Season 1, so perhaps that's more normal than I'm realizing. The script and series composition, Hiroshi Seko seems to be the same, which is good. And the storyboarding, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like it went from 7 storyboarders down to 2, just overall storyboarders. All of them are different, though, so that's kind of interesting. I'm not familiar enough with the internal workings of animation studios to know if there's generally more or less storyboarders working on a show. However, it does stand out to me that there were 7 of them working on Season 1, but in Season 2, there's only 2 of them. So I'm curious if these little changes and these little, these changes in the staff will be reflected in the product. I mean, obviously it will, but for an untrained eye like myself, and perhaps for a lot of you. Perhaps we'll see that come through a little bit, and perhaps it starts to illuminate a little bit of why it had a different reception season 2 did than to season 1. Whether these will a lot of issues that were brought up will be fixed in the Blu-ray that I'm watching. You're gonna have to tell me because I'm not gonna watch the TV side, the original TV release. I'll be watching the Blu-ray. So yeah, I'll leave it to you to let me know what differences you've noticed. Any comments you have about the change in staff, please do let me know. If you are new here, I do full reactions. I don't edit them down. However, the version on YouTube will be altered visually for copyright. The unaltered version is in the description. However, the episode breakdown, the discussion, will only be on YouTube. So if you go down and click that link, make sure you come back here afterwards for the breakdown. And yeah, don't forget to like if you did enjoy it. Please do subscribe if you want to join me as I kick off the second half of my journey to catch up on JJK before season 3 starts in January. I should be well on my way to finish it up in time. We'll see how it goes, though. So subscribe if you want to be notified whenever those new videos come out. But other than all that stuff, getting all that housekeeping out of the way, let's finally hop into Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 1. Okay, and we should also be getting a new opening and ending, which I'm quite excited for.
その夏は忙しかった。昨年頻発した災害の影響もあったのだろう。無事のように呪霊が湧いた。
Is this reflection on the current summer, or is this thinking about the past? Guess we'll find out soon enough. I don't think we know who this is. That is certainly a cursed spirit.
取り込む。その繰り返し。
So he's a sorcerer.
払う。
Ooh, that thing looks cool.
みんなは知らない。
Absorb. Wait a second.
吐砂物を処理した雑巾も丸飲みしている。
This isn't ghetto, is it?
払う。取り込む。
It is.
私が見たものは何も珍しくない。
It's right, because he had the shorter hair in the movie, in the flashback.
知った上で私は術師として人々を救う選択をしてきたはずだ。珍しくない。周知の醜悪。知った上で私は術師として人々を救う選択をしてきたはずだ。あの日から自分に言い聞かせている。あの日から。
もともとは地元で焼肉チェーン店を展開する運営会社の社長一家が住んでいたそうです。しかし昨年の7月、例の BSE 問題で焼肉店が壊滅的な打撃を受けたことから多額の借金を苦にして一家心中。以来社長宅は心霊スポットとして噂となり、地元の中高生や県外の大学生、フリーターなどが肝試しとして訪れ、相次いで行方不明に。噂が噂を呼び、被害が拡大していったんでしょうね。
心霊スポットの類はとかく噂が広まるのが早いからね。特に最近はインターネットによって信じられないくらいのスピードで広まっていく。
If a curse is created there and then people go there as a test of courage, that just fuels the emotions surrounding the area.
それ以外にも、
So it probably just makes the thing
学校帰りに
stronger.
行方不明になった小学生3人、その親族、警官、その同僚、友人と行方不明者をたどるとあの洋館に行き着き、被害に遭っている可能性があります。一刻も早く元を絶たなきゃですね。
総幹部もそう判断したから私に調査を依頼したんだよ。決して安くないギャランティーを払ってね。
またふっかけたんですか？
This is the Kyoto teacher and the
交渉したと言ってくれ。
hired gun, for lack of a better term, right? They both look different.
行こうか。
Is the character designing different too in this season? If I take a look at that.
闇より黒く、その汚れを。
帳は
Not
必要
bothering with the
ない。
veil.
呪いの気配が感じられない。十中八九、原因は建物の中にある。
And it's
外か
staying
ら
inside
叩くと
there.
なった時に 改めて下ろせばいい。
置いてる。なんか詰まってるみたいです。なんだこれ。メイさん。
いるね。
May, that's right.
そこら中に。
The animation seems different. Not just the animation, but like the
さ
art
っさと
style.
行くよ。私はいらないけど、いるだろ。
ありがとうございます。よし。
Fun pen.
すごいですね。あ、生きてるんですね。
とりあえず建物内を一通り見てみよう。私はこのフロア、歌姫は2階を。
え、
歌姫。
一人でですか？
何か問題でも？
いえ、大丈夫です。
So is this also in the past? Is that why they look different?
よし。
Or are they all just sporting different hairstyles? Which is fair. Not something you see much in anime. That could be part of why they look different, is because they're younger. She does look quite a bit younger. They're really enjoying these, like, not quite over the shoulder, but like behind the head shots. Just a couple of them from her. Very cute voice acting. A different yell for each of the cuts. And for that one too. Nice. They're really having fun with all these different, playing around with different camera angles and shots. They're really having fun with it. Yes, it is the pilot, so... Oh, nice. Ooh. What is going on? This is so different. This is so different. What the heck? Did this whole episode just have like... I'm sure the whole season won't look like this. Did they just throw someone in just for episode 1? Just give them the episode and let them go in on it? This is so interesting.
私は1階の廊下を歩いてきたんだ。
だって私突き当たりの部屋に入ったはず。
お菓子の箱、ポテトチップスの袋、缶、リュックサック、トレーナー。私はもう3回見ている。そしてこの印、私がここに来る途中でつけたものだ。
Looping hallway.
どうやら
Classic. Whoa.
私たちはもう腹の中みたいだね。
Yeah. Nice.
マジっすか。どこまで続くのよ、この廊下。
ざっと30分、4キロくらい移動した。
Probably not that long in reality.
聖徳領域ではないですよね。
違うね。
Oh, are they
あれは
gonna...
新象風景が具現化する。となると
Come on, do
結
it.
界術。
Yeah, and they walk by the camera again.
被害者たちも
Fantastic.
おそらく閉じ込められたまま呪霊に取り殺されたんだろう。
Oh, this is great. I am loving this.
でも
The
実
third
質的に考
time.
えると
Wait,
呪霊
but
そのものは非力
she's
な
following
は
a
ず
bit behind.
この結界を抜けることさえできれば
Still gotta deal with it though.
そこで課題だ。歌姫ならどう突破する？
break the wall. Start blowing things up.
初めは
If violence isn't solving your answer, you're not using enough of it.
こんな感じで
よく触れるね。
ドーナツのような構造を想像しました。で
Behind
も
the
メイさん
circle,
がつけた
yeah.
印を4回通りましたよね。その間隔を歩数で計測したところ122歩、203歩、157歩、270歩と印と印の間隔はランダムでした。
So it's not going in a circle.
ループする範囲が定まっていない、とすると
Clever.
おそらくこういう感じで継ぎはぎ状に結界を構成している。
Yeah,
なので
bring them on the
廊
fly.
下を2人で全速力で走り抜ければどこかで崩れる。
惜しい。90点。
That is a great
あ
face
との
of
10点は
great cocky
走
face.
るなら
Face of pride.
左右同時にかな。
なるほど。
Make it
継
break
ぎはぎ説を
faster.
正しいとすると2人別の方向に素早く進んだ方が呪霊の結界の構成にほころびが生じやすい。隙ができれば外に出られるかも。
100点。
そうと決まれば、もし成功したら昇級お願いします。
貯金いくらある？
はい
How much you gonna bribe
まあい
me?
いや、考えておくよ。
はい。じゃあよーい。
My god, that stance. How are you gonna be able to run with that though? Whoa. I think you're breaking it a little bit too good. Oh, whoa. You broke it alright. You broke everything.
Hey
Gojo.
歌姫
Definitely in the past. Here we go. New opening. Is this Aono Sumika? Hidden inventory, premature death. Okay, so we're labeling the arcs now. Cool. Well, who's she? There's a third in our now trio. Cool. Go 2 people clapping to 3 people clapping, more people joining the group. Ooh. Very nice. It is the song, yeah. So there's gonna be a... Is this whole thing gonna be a flashback arc? What the heck? Back in the aquarium. What the heck? There was the principal, I assume still a teacher back then. Changing classroom. Sounds like we're gone. Second year. Oh wow. So this is a while
泣いた
ago.
ら慰めてくれるかな？ぜひお願いしたいね。
She's first grade.
姉さんは泣かないでしょ。強いもん。
そう。
So I guess we weren't done being in the past when we finished JJ0. I guess we're still exploring the past. How
飲
interesting.
み込むなよ。後で取り込む。サトル、弱い者いじめは
There's
よくない
Cat
よ
though.。
強いやついじめるバカがどこにいんだよ。
君の方がナチュラルに煽っているよ、ゲトウ君。
あ、
歌姫先輩。無事ですか？
Complete change. There she is.
心配したんです
New
よ。
one.
2日も連絡なかったから。
Ayeri.
翔子、あんたもあの2人みたいになっちゃダメよ。なりませんよ。あんなクズども。
歌姫のとったたが崩れるぞ。うるせえ。
2日？
I would not mind if the whole show's animated like this.
時間ずれてたけ珍しいけどたまにあるよね。姉さんがいるのにおかしいと思ったんだ。
そのようだね。
And here comes Geto.
いや、
Is she a...
ということは実動2日という。
I get it, just turned into
そ
a
の分のギャラを
cardboard
上乗せしてもらわないといけないなと思ってね。
figure.
まだふっかける気なんだ。
それはそうと君たち。
Geto is just...
帳は
ああ
続いて昨日静岡県浜松市で起きた爆発
Oh,
事
so
この
everyone
中に
saw
帳は自
that.
分で下ろすからと
故現場の
補助監督を置き去りにしたやつがいるな。
Whoops.
そして帳を忘れた。
First grade
名乗り
sorcerer.
だ。
Yaga.
先生
Of course.
犯人探しはやめませんか
サトルだな。
そもそもさ帳ってそこまで必要
Ooh.
別にパンピーに見られたってよくね呪霊も呪術も見えねえんだし
ダメに決まってるだろう。呪霊の発生を抑制するのは何より人々の心の平穏だ。そのためにも目に見えない脅威は極力秘匿しなければならないのさ。
That's an interesting point. Calm is the
それだけ
best
じゃない。
antidote for
わかった
curses, because
わかった。
curses are born from negative energy.
弱いやつらに気を使うのは疲れるよほんと
弱者生存。それがあるべき社会の姿さ。弱きを助け、強きをくじく。いいかい、悟。呪術は非術師を守るためにある。
The world did they end up flipping?
それ正論
I guess that's what we're gonna end up seeing, though.
正論嫌いなんだよね
何
I guess we don't know if they flip.
力
We
に
don't
理由
really
とか
know
責
too
任を
much
乗っけるの
about
はさ
Gojo's
それこそ弱者がやるこ
beliefs. We do know that Geto flipped, though.
とポジショントークで気持ちよくなってんじゃねえよ
逃げろ
外で話そうか。
She already knows it's about to happen.
寂しんぼか
一人で行けよ。
Aw,
いつまで遊んでる
party pooper.
証拠はどうした
さあ、
Just the blank faces they stretch.
まあいい。この
They know
任
the- they
務
know
はお
the
前
deal.
たち二人に行ってもらう。なんだその面は。
いや別に
That's a great
正
question. I
直
don't know
荷
what
が
those
重いと
faces
思うが
are.
天元様のご指名だ。
I know exactly what those faces are. But...
依頼は
Tengen was
2
the one who built up
つ。
the
聖
doors,
書
right?
天元様との適合者。
Asma-
その少女の護衛と抹消だ。
ガキンチョの護衛と抹消
She was in the opening.
そうだ。
Big focus.
ついにボケたか
春だしね。次期学長ってんで浮かれてるのさ。冗談はさておき、
冗談で済ますかは俺が決
天
めるからな。
元様の術式の初期化ですか。
ん何それなんだよ
天元様は不死の術式を持っているが不老ではない。ただ老いる分には問題ないが一定以上の老化を終えると術式が肉体を作り変えようとする。進化。人でなくなりより高次の存在となる。
じゃあいいじゃんかっこいい
天元様曰く、
Again,
そ
talking
の
about
段
higher
階の
beings
存
like
在
from
に
the
は
movie.
意志というものがないらしい。天元様が天元様でなくなってしまう。光線各校、呪術界の拠点となる結界、多くの補助監督の結界術、それらすべてが天元様によって強度を底上
So
げ
it'll
してい
shake the
る。
entire foundation.
あの方の力添えがないと
At least.
セキュリティや任務の消化すらままならない。最悪の場合、天元様が人類の敵となる可能性もある。
Oh, wow.
だから500年に一度、聖正体、
Every
天
500
元様と
years.
適合する人間と同化し、肉体の情報を書き換える。肉体が一新されれば、術式効果も振り出しに戻る。進化は起こらない。
なるほ
For
ど
the sake of everything,
メタルグレイモンになる分にはいい
Sacrificing
け
one
ど
person.
スカルグレイモンになると困るだからコロモンからやり直すって話ね
The freaking Digimon references are
まあいい
crazy.
や、それで。
That's funny.
その聖正体の少女
I
の
hate I know
所
most
在
of
が
those
漏れて
names,
し
even
ま
though
う。
I know barely anything about.
今少女の命を狙っている輩は大きく分けて2つ。 天元様の暴走による
Curse user
現
group
呪術界の転覆を目論む呪詛師集団
They look
GOOO
fabulous.
天元様を信仰崇拝する宗教団体万世教時の器の会
Time Vessel
天元
Association.
様と聖書隊の同化は2日後の満月
So they worship
それ
him
まで
as
少
what
女を護衛し
what he's
天
already
元
kind of
様
going
の
to
元ま
become.
で送り届けるのだ失敗すればその影響
Because they
は
probably
一
want him to
般世
ascend.
界にまで及ぶ心してかかれ
でもさ、呪詛師集団 Q はわかるけど、万世教の方はなんでガキンチョ殺したいわけ？
崇拝しているのは純粋な天元様だ。聖正体、つまりは不純物が混ざるのが
Yeah,
許せない。
pretty much what I said. They want him to
万世
evolve.
教は非術師の集団だ。特段気にする必要はない。
Interesting.
警戒すべきはやはり Q。
まあ大丈夫
Yeah,
で
they're
しょ。
already looking down on
俺たち最強
non-sorcerers.
だし。だから天元様も俺たちを指名したんだろ。何？
いや、サトル、前から言おうと思っていたんだが、一人称俺はやめた方がいい。
ああ
Nah, that's not gonna happen.
特に目上の人の前ではね。天元様
Definitely
に
not
会う
gonna
かもしれ
happen.
ないわけだし、私、最低でも僕にしな。年下にも怖がられにくい。
Good luck.
家ね食って。
あのな、サトル。まあいい。また今度話そう。
Am I getting tired of bringing up these interesting shots? It's a bit of irony in that, isn't there?
は
Oh.
私
I'm
は
fine.
これでガキンチョ死んでたら俺らのせい。あ、
Oh, there she is. She's fine.
悪く思うなよ。恨むなら天元を恨み。
Cute.
目立つのは勘弁してくれ。今朝怒られたばかりなんだ。
At least let me put up a veil first.
その制服、光線の術師だ。ガキを渡せ。殺すぞ。
聞こえないな。もっと近くで喋ってくれ。
いやー、セーフセーフ。
Sifu, Sifu. That's a lot of knives.
素晴らしい。君、
Dio, is that
五条
you?
悟だろ。有
That's
名人
not Dio.
強いんだってね。噂が
He's
本当
much
か
lamer.
確かめさせてくれよ。
いいけど、ルールを決めよう。
ルール
Rule 1, you can't hurt me. Rule 2, you lose. Rule 3, try not to stand out too
殺
much.
さないでやるよ。これがルールね。
クソガキが。
始まったな。万世教には呪術師と戦う力がねえ。でも金払いはいいぞ。それは保証する。
Ooh. So are both groups
Loda,
working together?
聖正体暗殺。一枚噛まないか。
もう全員じゃねえ。向こうに入ったんでな。
That
今は
voice
伏し黒だ。
is-
いいぜ。その話受けてやる。
Father? Oh, it's episode 25. Interesting. So they're actually continuing right from where season 1 left off. Let's check out the CD. Interesting contrast already between the opening and the ending. The opening with like the clear blue sky and this one with the rain. Really like the sound of this one. A lot of imagery of death. So
なんか理由も思い入れもないけど頭から離れない言葉ってあるよね。
ああ、コンデにしたいとか。
そうそう、コーポレートギャバナンスとか。
次回開玉にお楽しみに。
Is this
ジョーコもなんか出してよ。
Tell me that all the previews are going to be on the art style. That's really cool. Alright, that was Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 1, or Episode 25 of the show, I suppose, which is how they're labeling it, which is kind of interesting. Let me know how you want me to address it, whether I should say Episode 1 or 25 or go on like that. I can go either way, but it's kind of interesting. Especially interesting because the continuity is a little bit broken here. It's unusual. I'm really curious if the manga, if it's actually following the order of the manga, if it's moving things around. Because it seems like this entire arc is not even really a flashback arc, but almost like a prequel arc. In a similar way to the movie, but much, much further back, even more of a prequel. It's really interesting. It really has a different feel. It almost feels like I'm watching a different show. Except it's very much not a different show. And I think the change in the art style and the animation, pretty much everything about it, except for, I suppose the music was pretty consistent, but like everything about it felt different, which I'm curious if that's the effect they were actively going for, because it's not with our main trio, with our main characters. I'm really curious about how this was, about the story, about the process, and what went into this and the adaptation of it. It's just so strange. And especially I think the big thing for me is the fact that season 1, it's kind of funny. If you watch my season 1 finale, you'll see that one of the biggest things that I maybe didn't complain about, but one of the things that was kind of holding me back in season 1 that I personally really like is it was very fast, very efficient. There wasn't a whole lot of time to slow down, like get some decent flashbacks and really come to understand our characters, other than just their interactions in the present day. Those of you who watched that were probably laughing secretly at the dramatic irony of what was about to happen, because yeah, here we are. Now we have JJK0, which is going back in time, and now we're going back even further. It seems for this entire arc, really. Because I don't think in the opening we had any of our main characters. Where was it, actually? Oh, wow, it was halfway into the episode. Holy crap. Yeah, so it really is just all about them. So it doesn't seem like we'll be coming back to the modern day anytime soon. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. I don't know. I guess I'll have to let it cook, but I'm not sure how I feel about I guess at the very least, it's interesting that in JJK0 we went slightly back into the past, and now we're going even further. So there is the chronological continuity in that sense. But it's weird that like we're not even getting like a flashback from like Gojo. Like we're in the present day, and then Gojo like reflects back on this. We're just jumping straight into it without context, which is a little bit disorienting. It's a little strange in a sense, and I'll see where they go with it from here. I'll leave it as it is, but as it is, I'm a little bit iffy about it. I guess we'll just have to see. But that's pretty much one of the only things I'm iffy about. I mean, so far it's excellent. All throughout the episode, I just kept going again and again that there are so many different shots that were just interesting and unexpected. Her becoming like a little cardboard cutout here and staying right there as Geto just slowly wiggles his way onto screen. I mentioned it before, but when Utahime was exploring, there's a lot of like, first of all these like different unique angles that you don't really expect, especially here when she's looking into the room. Just constantly changing from behind her to underneath the bed where she's about to look, to this little tracking shot, to again looking down from where there's implying there's something there. And it's really good. The door is slowly closing, increasing the creepy air, slowly panning down, not quite giving it to us, super close up, claustrophobic. Then finally panning down, back to her, building the anticipation, And we can almost see it. One more cutaway, flashlight, and then we see the mice. A lot of really fun stuff here. And again, there's a lot of like shots like right behind her back where her head is kind of the center middle of everything. And the other one was when she was like, I guess this one wasn't really behind her head. It was kind of just behind her, but where like pans up as she walks up into it. It's kind of like grand reveal of this absolute dilapidated mess of a mansion place. Yeah, really interesting. So many things. Too many to talk about, honestly, and I'm the wrong person to bring it up about. But I mean, obviously, like this requires minimal animation, but is just as interesting as something that's like incredibly intricate. Just using the umbrella, pointing at it, boom, 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 boom. I don't know. It's super simple, but just engaging. And then, of course, this one where we stay on this one shot and they walk past it 3 different times. All these, yeah, it's just smart. It's not necessarily like genius or like unheard of, but it's just really competent and well done. And assuming that the production issues were a real thing, which I'm sure they were, it's not like they're lying about it, but seeing the product that turned out anyways, I imagine most of this doesn't seem like something you'd be touching up on Blu-ray. So at the very least, the pilot was really strong. So whether that just speaks to whether the production wasn't quite an issue this early on, or if it's just the people working on it are this good, it's just really impressive and just an absolute blast to watch. I really hope we keep getting this moving forward, that all the episodes are like this, but I guess we'll just have to see. And then we meet a couple new groups. We meet the Star Religious group, and the Curse User group Q. So the Curse User group Q, obviously Curse Users, like Geto is the only one that we really know of in the modern day. Obviously people under him probably do it too. But the other ones are not sorcerers. And we can already see Geto's kind of looking down on them, but he also has a belief that he's protecting the weak. So he's not looking down on them in a condescending way. He's just saying that they're not really a threat. And both of them want to get rid of that girl. Because Tengen is going to evolve and they do not want him to. Or they do want him to. He does not want to. Interesting. And it seems like they're working together. The Star Religious group and Q. And also Fushiguro, who seems to be the dad, presumably the dad of our Fushiguro Megumi, because he was Zane, but he changed to Fushiguro. See him right here. Took my wife's name, so his wife is Fushiguro. And yeah, I mean, the resemblance is uncanny, right? Couldn't be clearer. Beautiful opening, beautiful ending. Interesting thing here. It's a little bit faster. Maybe that's too much. We'll see. Here we are. There are all these different flashes. So people waiting by the train. The budding flowers. I don't know what flowers those are. The red spider lily is obviously a picture of death, but contrast with the blue sky, which is interesting. Death open in plain sight. There's a church. And then, yeah, the walk in the rain. So, interesting. All these different imagery, a whole lot of nature, and just kind of sitting around, kind of doing things while they're bored. A whole lot of character acting. That's really the name of the game with this ED. The backward wave as they all walk away in different directions. And more of that water. I wonder if the water's here with the same sort of imagery, the symbolism that we saw, especially in the first arc of the first season. The idea of change is coming, which would make a whole lot of sense, right? Because this is a prequel arc. We're here to largely explain the present, so change is inevitable. And the image sticks with me of the three walking away in different directions. And also the fact that we haven't heard of the girl, EAED. That gives me a little bit of a bad feeling, but I had a bad feeling about Miwa too, and she turned out all right, so. Maybe it's the curse of my bad feelings. Maybe it's a good sign. Now let's take a look into this opening here. Oh, this is present day falling asleep and going into the past, I imagine. Yeah. So it's like he's dreaming about this. And I guess that's kind of our into seeing his life like this. Don't know who that is. Hidden inventory, premature death. Can't really say much on that so far. Other than obviously the premature death, the whole idea of Yuji, the whole, like the centerpiece and the big introduction into JJK, and it's like the themes it'll be exploring was the idea of a proper death, and a proper life was the extension of that, and what is a proper death, who can decide what's a proper death, and can you avoid it? If you kill somebody, are you denying them proper death? Those kinds of things. A lot of asking about that, and those were really big punctuations of the first and the second core of season 1. So premature death is very topical. Interesting if that's part of the arc name here. I guess I'll turn this down just a little bit. 4 times speed is a little fast. Let's just do 2 times. A whole bunch of other characters, and that's our girl that we encountered. A whole lot of symbolism. The sakura blossoms changing, the cherry blossoms, sakura blossoms, the cherry blossoms, the sakura leaves. Her kind of cowering away at the birds taking off. I like that, the 2 clapping and then the 3 clapping. But the 2 separate and then being together. There's a whole lot of symbolism, a whole lot of imagery. This is easily my favorite visual opening by like a wide freaking margin. It's not even remotely close. Forming it seems like the balls that he eats, perhaps? Yeah, because he turns them into those balls that have like little, almost like atmospheres in them. It's really cool. Oh, wow. Fushiguro's dad is built. Assuming it's who he is. I mean, it's definitely got to be who he is, but... And we see her in the bath a lot. Assume there's a reason for that. Ooh, that was a cool split shot of both of them just jumping off. Nice. Very nice. And just exchanging between the 2 of them as they're both falling. Yeah, very cool. Very active. The screen busy with all the different things happening all around it, different layers. Wow. Antics. Antics. A whole lot of antics. Leaving you with the burning question of how did it all go wrong? In this world of curses, there's any number of reasons and answers, right? And then this. The different forms in the classroom. Seems like in the morning, Gojo definitely going to fall out of that chair. Reaching out to the stars. Chasing him. Just like clasping it. Oh no, I don't know what those say. Welcome. New students? And then as the sunset, they're all leaving. And in the night, no one's there. So, her reaching out to the aquarium. Then I think this is, you can't really tell, but for some reason I get the feeling it's Gojo. Or it could be Geto. But reaching out and then cusping and then holding it over and covering your eyes with the starry sky. Really interesting. I'm really excited to break down that more and more as we get into the story and as the symbolism becomes a little bit clearer and we get context with the story. I'm really interested in seeing how my appreciation of the opening develops. It's already my favorite by a large margin of the 3 so far, but there's just a lot. It's really interesting. I'm really invested. I still do have that hang up. I'll give it a chance. I'll wait to see where it goes. I mean, give it a chance is the implication that I'm going to drop it. I'm not, obviously, but we'll see if it can win me over with this. I'm interested. If you do know how this happened, like whether this actually is chronologically how it happened in the manga, or if they're kind of moving things around, or if there's things they got rid of, things that they're adding, please do let me know in the comments. Or even just about the episode. If there's something you noticed I didn't talk about or something I skipped over, something I said you agree or disagree with, please do leave it in there. I would love to open discourse with you. I would love to learn more about this and see kind of the experience of the community, either as it was airing or afterwards, since I'm a little bit late to the party. So please do let me know. I'd love to learn more and just engage in discourse with you in there. If you did enjoy it, please do like it, subscribe to and join me on my journey. Be notified whenever it comes out. And yeah, I'm really curious to see where it goes from here. But that's enough rambling, I suppose, for now. I'll leave it off here. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And until the next one, have a lovely rest of your day.